Recording in progress.
All right, good morning, everybody. Today is the final block Masechah Sota, Memtes.
There's Tessie.
Tessie. So Shkech Levi for taking us to the final blot.
Tessie is dead right now.
All right, so we are three lines.
This is how we're recording started.
Yeah, 3 lines from the top. Omar, last word of the line. On Mem Tezmanal. So Amar Rabbi Eloi bar Yebrachia Imole Tfilaso Shel David Hayukoyisel Meichre Rava. If it was not for the tefillas of David to be mispal on behalf of the Jewish people, then they would have been like peddlers, sellers of stains, sellers of very cheap stuff. Shinamaz says, she says, right? That I guess he requested the pasuk over there. It talks about poverty, and he was mispal on their behalf. Right, also the poverty of the Jewish people would have been so severe if it was not for the tefillah of Chabakuk. They had 2 Talmidei Chachamim would have had to go ahead and share a single blanket. And now Hashem says, Hashem Shemati Shemecha Yireis Hashem Palecha Bekerev Shana. So it's, I'm sorry? Chayehu, right? You should go ahead, right? So listen, right, and do your wonders, right, in these years, not these years. Atikei Bekerev Shanim, Ella Bekerev Shnayim, right? Bekerev Shnayim, and 2 people are close. In other words, do your wonders now, and 2 are close, that they at least have enough to pay for their own blankets. Evam Rabbi Eloi bar Rabbi Rachia Shnei Talmidei Chachamim Hamalchim B'derech Ve'em Divrei Torah right in the Sarek B'eish. 2 Talmidei Chachamim are walking, and they're not speaking the Torah. Right here from the top. Right, they said that they're subjecting themselves to burn with fire. Shemaz says, "Vayi hema holchim halach v'diber v'hinei rechav eish v'ildaim." Says over there when they were walking, the diber. And there was a chariot of fire came down. So Tamadika Dibur, only because there was Dibur between them, Halakha Dibur, right in the Sarit. But if it wasn't for Dibur, then it wouldn't just been a chariot of fire. Then the fire would have consumed it. If 2 Talmidei Chachamim are in the same town, right, and they don't converse with one another regarding matters of halacha, Echad meis v'echad geila. Then they could be subject to one of them dying and one of them being exiled. Shemaz says, it says over there that one of them will have to go into exile, right? Because he killed somebody without knowledge. Bleed das. What does it mean? Bleed das. Vein das el Torah. Das means that there is no Torah, right? Vein das el Torah. Shemaz says, bleed hadas. Right, so it says over there there's a reference to Torah. So it says over there calls him das. You see over here that bleed das. If there is no Torah, then one will be killed. Right, that's what happened in that case. And that one will be sent to Galus. And Amar Rabbi Yehuda bereid Rabbi Chia called Talmid Chacham ha'isei b'Torah mitech hadchak tfilas nishmas. Any Talmid Chacham who learns from dire circumstances, right, his tefillah will be heard. Shnamar Zebaz says. Ki am bitzia neishe b'Yushalayim b'cha leisivke chanuch yichanech lekol zakecha kishmaso anach. So the pasuk over there says, right, they will from over there in Yerushalayim, right, don't go ahead and cry because Hashem will listen to all your cries. So over there that Hashem responded by giving them bread and water, so the tefillah was given despite them only having Torah and being in poppy. Right? They are satiated from the radiance of the Shekhinah. Says, right, that you will see. Right, your eyes will set upon Barecha, right? Your teacher, Hashem, now is from the Ziva of the Shechina, and Rabacha Bar Chanina Amar Af Ein Hapargut Nina Befanav. Even the separation, right, between man and the Shechina also will be removed. As it says, V'lichanef Oid Barecha. It says over there that your teacher will no longer hide himself. So he said that the day the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. then each day there was no day without a curse. And Amarabba Chayam V'Yayim Meruba Kolaso, right? Every day the klala gets worse. So mashal, right? Right? Each one gets each curse day is even greater than the day before. Shnei says, in the morning they say, "Oh, we wish it was night." The night they say, "We wish it was morning." Now, hi Boker. At night they said, "We wish it was morning." Which morning are you referring to? If they said, "Thank you very much," that is tomorrow morning. That woe is tonight's curse. Tonight's a bad time. Let it be tomorrow. So the Machar Miyadam, how do they know how tomorrow's going to be? Tomorrow's going to be worse. So basically, they're saying at night, they're saying, "Oh, this curse is so bad. I wish it was the morning," right? And in the morning, they say, "I wish it was night, not the future night, but the past night." So you see that every day it gets worse and worse. All they wanted was the past. The Chalif. Right, but over here it's never green. It's always it was continuously getting worse and worse. Right. So each one that passed. So if that's the case, why? What is the world? If this is a curse in every day, the basement story. So what is the world? Why is it still sustained? So akadusha the sidra vayesh me rabba de. So on the kedusha that we say in Uvot Siyam, right? So over there, right? That's a little bit of Torah in there. That's a little bit of Kaddish, and Rashi points out that is where's the Rashi? Right, the Rashi. This is right. This one, right? That is two things. It says Shtein Kiddush Hashem and Talmud Torah. So two big things: Kiddush Hashem and Talmud Torah. That is said in that, and also. After the big shmooze, when they say, Shabbos morning, and they give a shir, and they say Kaddish afterwards, that's also Talmud Torah and Kiddush Hashem. Shenamar says, so the pasuk over there says, Eretz Efasa Kamo Oifel Tamavis V'lo Sidar. Says over there that the world is dark, right, and there is no order. Yeshidar, but there is order. There is Talmud Torah. Then Taifiyah Me'Oifel. Then it will be saved from the darkness. And do no longer fell with bracha, and the taste of the fruit, it went to waste. Right, when the tahira, when the purity of the people ceased, then there was but also the smell and the flavor of the fruits and meiser bital shuman dagan, and then when meiser. When they no longer were taking meiser, then they were nullified the fattiness of the grains. Wow.
Have in mind the schnapps for when you get the bracha.
Yeah. So Ravuna Ishtach Tumrasa Chinusa Shakla Karcha Besidrasa. So Ravuna, he found a nice fatty date. And he put it in his handkerchief in his sudar, right? Also, Rabba Berei. So his son Rabba came along. Samarlei Mechina Recha Dichnusa. Right? I smell a fatty date. Samarlei Bini. So he said, my son, because you're so sensitive, you smell this, the fattiness of it. Tahara Yesh B'cha. You are with purity, and therefore Yavani Lei. So then he gave his son the date. So Abba Berei. So then the grandson came along, right? So Abba, the son of Rabba, came along. Shakla Yavin Nilei, and he gave it to him. Samarlei, B'ni Samachtas Libi V'Kisa Shinai. He says, yes, you made me happy that you had purity, but then you made me upset by basically you not eating my date, and you gave it to your grandson. In other words, that to your son, right? To your son, as opposed to you taking it. So therefore, there was a bit of offended. I mean, interesting that people say. Rachmi the Abba Abni and Rachmi the Bni Abnei Dahavu. Right, Abnei. So it says no, because the mercy of a father is upon his son, and the mercy of a son is upon his son and not his father. So therefore he gave it to his son and didn't respect his father. So Rav Acha bar Yaakov Yaakov bar Bartei. So Rav Acha bar Yaakov, he took care of his grandson Rav Yaakov, the son of his daughter. So when he got older, Amalei Ashkenayis, it says, son or grandson, right? Bring me water. So Amalei, Lav, no, I'm not your son. Rabbi Bar Sachan, right? People say that they're not going to say, I'm not your son, rather, I'm the son of your daughter, I'm not necessarily your son. There's a disconnect between the generations. Fine.
No, he would keep it up.
Right.
Still. What, grandson?
The grandson, right? He says, I'm not your son, I'm your mother and your daughter's son.
He said, I'm not Mechuyev, but
Yeah.
he was still.
Naya Mishnah, last Mishnah.
Nai Mishnah.
Rapumas shall
Now
as so during the right, Vespasian, right? So during the siege, right, when they surrounded Yerushalayim, so Gozru al Taris Chasanim, they were geyser upon the crowns that worn by grooms, Ve'al Irus, and also on Irus, we'll soon see what that is in the Gemara, a certain type of a musical instrument. So their guys no longer do this, we're not in full simcha mode. So then when Vespasius left and then Titus took over, Gozru al Taris Kalos, and they said, we're no longer doing the crowns, right, of the brides. And a person should not go ahead and teach his son Greek chachma. And but Pulmos ha'achron in the final and the destruction of the temple goes to shalatetze akala ba'pirion, that she should not go out in this like special canopy, the seicha'ir within the city, because of once again because it's sad. However, he tirish shalatetze akala ba'pirion, but they said no, she should still go out with something well. The seicha'ir. Meir, but when Rav Meir died, so there was removed from the world those who make special parables. Mishameis ben Azai, Batul Hashachdanim, was nullified those who had tremendous diligence. Masmidim. Mishameis ben Zuma Batul Hadarshanim. The Darshanim no longer when Ben Zuma died. Mishameis Rabbi Kiva Batul Kavod Torah no longer existed. That was Rabbi Kiva. Yeah, that was Kavod Torah, right? That he darshed every part of the Torah, even the Tagim. Mishemes Rabbi Chanina ben Daisa, Batal Anshe Ma'isa. Then the people with great deeds was no longer Mishemes Rabbi Yasi, Chatanasa, Pascal Chasidim. The great pious ones were no longer. So why was it called Chatanasa? Chatanasa Chasidim. Of all the Chasidim, he was the lowest, but he was of the last. Then it was nullified wisdom. Another Kavod Torah was also ceased, right? He used to go ahead and stand when he learned. Tahara, precious, and also died with it also purity and separation. And Mishemes Rabbi Shua ben Bachi Ziv HaKahuna. Then the honor and the glory of the Kohanim ceased, right? He was a Chacham and an Usher, and he provided for all of them. Mishemes Rebbe Batal Anava V'Yirasken. When Rebbe died, then it was nullified Anava to modesty, right, and also fear of sin. And Tanur Rabbanan in this I don't know, it's not maybe whether it's the Bryce or part of the Mishnah. Right.
Twice, it says.
Well, right. So there is difference. So right. So there's two different types, right? Because that is probably what Rashi goes in, right? By Kavod Torah, by the first one it says he darshaned every coat shall kol os, and the second one by Rabbi Gamliel Zaken, he said he had Kavod Torah that when he would learn, he would stand me'umad, and he would learn standing. So it was different types of Kavod Torah.
What was the physical?
Right. So whatever. So we'll skip the Tanur Rabbanan. So Pinchas ben Yair, Aimer Mishchar Reis Amidash, Baishu Chachavim ben Echarin, right? The Chaverim, those who with purity, and the Echarin, so the Chaber Rasham, their faces were covered. Naldo Anshe Maisa, right? And there was no longer the Anshe, the people who great deeds. The Gavru Bali Israel Ubali Al Lasha, right? And then the people with sharp mouths, right? Not good people, and the strong people, the mafia, they became stronger, right? And then therefore there was no one left to darshan and to be mevakish Torah and to be shayel. So So therefore, who was left? There were no righteous leaders left. So therefore, all they have to rely is upon Avinu Shvashmayim. Is that Hashem? Then the Chachamim came like teachers, and the teachers became like chazanim, like the shul attendants, Chazania, Kamadara. They were like regular people, Bamadara. So there was a lower level of quality of people. The Amadara and the people of the nation, Ozla, right? They went. Ozla Vidaldala, right? They went and they became, in poverty. and therefore they know to go ahead to go to the Chamim no longer. So who is there to say them? Only Hashem. And Beikvais Mashiach Chutzpah Yiska, and during the close to the what's it called, the days before Mashiach, Mashiach, then Chutzpah will increase. The Yekir Yamir, right? The prices will go up, and Hagef and Tita and period B'Yukir, yeah. And then it says there that there'll be plenty of fruits, but it won't be able to sustain. There'll be such demand for yayin, for wine. Right? Well, Malchus Tahavech Laminus, and then the Malchus will turn to heresy, right? And there won't be anybody to give Tochacha, and Beis Havad Yelas Nus, and the meeting house of the Chamim, which used to use that, will be a place to be for Znus. V'Hagala Yecharev, and the Gala will be destroyed. V'Gavlan Yashim, also the Gavlan will also be like desolate, another area.
It's not from the Yiddishkeit perspective, or like just whoever's running the world.
I think the world. I think in this, yeah. Yashim the Anshe Hagvul, and the people by the border is Yisavu. May the year they'll go around and they won't be able to rest, to come to peace. Chamas Seifrim Tisrach. And the Chachamim and the Seifrim, so those will go bad, will tisrach, will spoil, the people who fear sin will be hated, and the truth will be hidden. And the Arim Pnei Zaki Abeno, and then the children should go ahead and basically embarrass the Zakanim, and Zakanim and the elders who normally are given respect, they'll be standing up for the younger ones. And Ben Menavel Av and Bas come Be'ima and Kaleb Chamaisa, then his son will, all right, he'll be respectful to his, I guess, father.
He will not be respectful.
Well, disrespectful, right? So Ben Menavel Av, right? He'll be disrespectful to his father, and a daughter before her mother, and a daughter-in-law to her mother-in-law. And Ish Anshe Besa, and the enemies of one's of a man is one's household. Pnei Ador Pnei Hakelef, and the face of the generation will be like that of a dog. And Habenin Mizbayesh Mi'aviv, and a son will not be embarrassed from his father. I'm going to go ahead and depend upon Al Avinu Sheba Shemaim, only on Hashem, because the generation has gone mad. Zok the Gemara. So Amar Rav, so we said earlier by the first siege, that they banned the crowns of the Chasanim. So they should have only made of salt and gafris, right? Some type of a stone. But if it's made of myrtle or rose, then it's okay. Even though made of those things, it's also however from reeds or other plants that grow by the marsh, those are mutter. Even those are also, you can't wear any sort of crown. Those are all also. Well, Iris, it says Iris, the musical instruments also was banned by the first siege of Iris. So Amar Rabbi Elazar, Tavla de Chatpuma, it's like a bell with one knocker. And Rabbi Baravuna, Avale, Libre, Tambura, he made like a tambourine for his son for the wedding. So also Avia, so his father came and says, no, he says, Tavi, right, go ahead. And basically break it, don't use it. Amar Le, Mikla Tavla de Chatpuma, people will get confused this with something that is prohibited, such as the iras, which is the bell with the one knocker, right? Azil avilei apuma de chatzva or apuma de kafiza, right? Go ahead and go ahead and basically cover either some sort of kli, basically make like a drum, right? Some sort of kli, put like the leather with the over it, and use that to bang, but don't use something with like the thing inside. And the pumas shaltitas gazer al tars v'kalas, and they were guys on tars v'kalas. Samaya tars kalas. Amar Rabbi Bar Chana Amar Rabbi Yochanan Ir Shalzav. Right, there's a certain ornament that they used to wear upon their head, made of gold, look like a golden city. Tanya Amihagas. Taras kalas. What is it? Taras kalas Ir Shalzav. Isa sa kipa shamius. But you can go ahead and make any other sort of, I guess, crown or whatever it is, headpiece, right, made of wool. Antana afa chubas chasanim gazu, even chubas chasanim gazu sumay chubas chasanim zaharis hamazavos. Right, that was like different pieces of like material that were like golden. So those were also they were made a decree on that they shouldn't be used. And then I learn so you can't go ahead and use like these cloths, right, with gold highlights in it, but you can go ahead and use some sort of lattice work and hang whatever you want from those chubas chasanim. And he said, "Shalai Yimir as b'nai Yevanis should not go ahead and teach their sons Yevanis." When they went ahead and they were fighting with one another, Beis Chashmonai, Hyrcanus was on the outside, and Arsablus was the inside, and they were fighting the people on the outside versus the people in the old city. So every day, the people on the inside says, "Hey, here's 3 dinarim. Bring us an animal from the outside in order for us to be in the Talmud." So there was a certain old man there who recognized the Chachmas Ivanis. So Allah's Lahem Chachmas Ivanis. He sort of mocked them, the people on the outside. He said, "Lahem Kol Zman Sha'iskim Ba'avoda Ein Nimsar B'Yedchem." You guys are putting them under siege. As long as they keep offering the Talmud every day, you're going to be unsuccessful.
Say that.
The next day, so once again, they lowered down, they gave the dinar for the animal, the kupa, right in the box, and then they brought up, the animal, and lo and behold, it was a pig. And once it got to halfway up the wall, Sarvanov stuck its hooves in the wall, and this does it's still arba meyos parsa, right? And it's still shook 400 parsa. And Shah, that moment, Amru Adam Shiagdav Chazirim, right? What was the man? Curses the man who raises pigs. And furthermore, Adam and also whoever teaches his son Chachmas Yivanis, which caused this. Shanina, in that year we learned because of the siege. Maisa uba oimer migagas tzifin v'she'alechem bikas ein tzeicher. So that year that the oimer was supposed to be very fresh and can only be done at that time, right during when it was brought on the second day of Pesach. So nevertheless, they had to go much farther out because everything was destroyed around the shte'alechem. And the loaves that were brought on Shavuos, those are also brought from far away. So Gemara says you can't go ahead and teach Yivanis. Why does one need to go ahead and speak Lashon Sursi? Either you speak Lashon HaKodesh or you speak Greek. Also, he says, Rabbi Yosef, Lashon Arami. Why should you speak like Arami, Aramaic? Lashon HaKodesh or Lashon Parsi. Either speak the Persian language or Lashon HaKodesh. So you see over there, the Lashon Yivanis is fine. So Gemara says no. Lash Yivanis l'chud, the Chachmas Yivanis l'chud. There's 2 different things. There's the language of Greek, right? Greek, that's okay. But there's also the Chachma of the Greeks. Now is no good. L'chud. Because Yivanis miyasir, the Chachmas Yivanis zos. So Valmar Rav Yudam Shmuel Meshum Rashun Gamliel. My dichsil is what it means. So the pasuk over there says Eini Oila L'nafshi Mikol Benois Iri. So it says his eyes, I guess, were swelled. Or from crying, or his soul from all the daughters of the city. What do you mean? So Elif Yeladim Hayu Mibei Saba, right? There were like 1,000 descendants from my father's house. Chamesh Mios Lamdu Torah, 500 learned Torah. Chamesh Mios Lamdu Chachmas Yivanis, and they learned Chachmas Yivanis, which was also a good thing, just like Torah. V'lanishtar mehen Elo Ani Kan Uben Achi Abba Basia, and the only people that remain are me and the son of the brother of my father, Basia, right? I guess that was his cousin. So what do you see over there? They learn a Chachmas Yivanis, so that's okay. So Shani Shel Beis Gamliel the Krovin LaMalchus Havi. No, because that was the house of Gamliel, and that was permitted because he was the Nasi and they were close to the Malchus, and they used to go ahead and rub shoulders with him in terms of Chachmas Yivanis. And the Tanya is learning Brisa. So Mis Barkomi Hareze Medarchei Amari.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, well, I guess it started earlier from from Socrates, Plato, Socrates, and Bill and Ted's Examen. Those are my age, yeah. Plato, Socrates, what's his name, Aristotle, right? So I guess that came all after that. So there's certain haircut, and Aftulus ben Reuven, Hitiru, the Saper, Kumi, they allowed him to go ahead and get this certain type of guy. Shergat Shu Kar the Malchus because he was close with the Malchus. And Shabbat Gamliel, Hitiru Lahem Chachmas Yivanis. They also permitted him to learn Chachmas Yivanis in Bnei Shekrovim the Malchus because he was close to the Malchus. And finally, at the final siege or destruction of the temple, goes to Shulatetze called a period, and then some permitted in my time. So they permitted it because of the tznius, because she was more, I guess, to be more covered in this canopy. Mishemes Rabbi Yechanan Batla Hachachma. When he died, then it was Batal all the wisdom. Tanur Rabban Mishemes Rabbi Eliezer Nigna Sefer Torah. It was like a Sefer Torah was burned because he had many secrets and Masara with him. Mishemes Rabbi Shua Batla Eitza Machshava. Then it was nullified. Good sound advice and thought. And Mishemes Rabbi Kiva Batla Zroya Torah. Then the those who upheld the Torah was nullified, and also the wellspring of Chachma of wisdom was also dried up. And Mishemes Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Batlu Atares Chachma. Then the crowns of Chachma was no longer right. He was also very wealthy. Shatar Chachma Ashram, right. He was a very wealthy individual. And from his crown of Torah there came his wealth. And Mishemes Rabbi Chanina ben Doisa, Batlu Anshe Maisa, no longer Anshe Maisa. When it comes to Doisa was Nefter Mishemes Abi Yosi ben Katunsa, but the Chasidim that were no longer pious ones. Lamanikar Shemo Abi Yosi ben Katunasa. That wasn't his father's name. So I was going to Kanasa Shayam Miktani Chasidim because he was the lowest. He was the youngest, right, of the Chasidim. Mishemes ben Azai. Batu Hashkadanim, then those who were the big Masmidim, right, were nullified, and Mishemes ben Zuma, Batu Hadarshanim, the Darshanim no longer, Mishemes ben Shingalil, Allah Guvai, the Rabbi Tsaros, right, then I guess locusts increased, and the Tsaros began when Shingalil died, and Mishemes, Rebbe, when Rebbe died after that, who grew Tsaros? Then their problems doubled. We have a minion, we'll just do the end, and Mishemes, Rebbe Batla, Nava Viraschet, and when Rebbe died, he was Batla Nava Viraschet, and Amarle, Rav Yosef, Latana Loitisi Anova, don't say modesty, Dika no, because I'm more modest than Rebbe was, right? And he says Bemis, he didn't say this in a haughty way. And I'm Rav Nachman, Latana Loitisi Yiraschet, don't also write Yiraschet the Ikana, because Rav Nachman, he was in the level of Yiraschet, even more that of Rebbe. So Hadralach, Egla, Rufa, Sikala, the Sacha, Sota, Miles double do a quick hadron, I guess, right? Those want to do the hadron now, we're going to do the hadron together, and then after we'll eat, then you can sing. What's it? So hadron Masechah Sota, hadron Allah Masechah Sota, but that's like Allah listen Neshaminach Masechah Sota, but let's Neshaminan Allah B'Yama Hadim Allah B'Yama Diasi. Hadron Masechah Sota, hadron Hadron Chalon Daited Allah Masechah Sota, but that's like Allah Neshaminach Masechah Sota, but let's Neshaminan Allah B'Yama Hadim Allah B'Yama Diasi. Hadron Masechah Sota, hadron Chalon Daited Allah Masechah Sota, but that's like Allah Neshaminach Masechah Sota, but let's Neshaminan Allah B'Yama Hadim Allah B'Yama Diasi. Here at Allah Fenecha Adonai Eloheinu V'Yavasenu. Shetei Torasechu Monoseinu B'Yolam Hazev Tei Imanu B'Yolam Haba Chanin Bar Papa Rami Bar Papa Nachman Bar Papa Acha Bar Papa Abba Mari Bar Papa Rafa Bar Papa Rochish Bar Papa Surcha Bar Papa Ad Bar Papa V'Dor Bar Papa Harev Nadaleinu Es Divrei Torasechu B'Fidu Fiyas Amcha Beisa Kolanu Anachim Tzenu Tzenu Tzei Amcha Beisa Kolanu Yeshimech V'Lomdei Tzachal Lishma Me'Bayit Tachmeini Mitzvah Ki L'Lam He Li Be Samim Mechukecha Laman Lo Eva Shalom Lo Eshkach Pekudecha Kivam Chiyisani Baruch Atu Adonai Lamnei Chukecha Amen 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 Salved Vadim Anachnu Lefanecha Adonai Eloheinu V'Yavasenu Shesanto Chalkeinu Miyeshi Beis Hamedrash V'Lo Santo Chalkeinu Miyeshi Ekras Shana Mashkin V'Hei Mashkin Ana Mashkin L'Dir Tar V'Hei Mashkin L'Dir B'Telem Ana Amelim V'Hei Amelim Ana Amelim Makav B'Schar V'Hei Amelim V'Ein Makav B'Schar Ana Ratzim V'Hei Ratzim Ana Ratzim L'Chai Olam Haba V'Ein Ratzim L'Vir Shachas Shenamar V'Yata Alim Toridei L'Vir Shachas Anshe Damim U'Mirmal Lo Yechzu Yimeim Avani Aftach Bach. Here at Tzavah Fenecha Adonai Lahai Kashem says Shezotani the Sai Masechah Sota Ken Zotani the Haska Masechah Svarim Acherin the Saimim Lilmod Lami Lishma La'asos the Kaim Es Kol Divrei Samot Torasecha B'Yaba Zuchus Kol Tanai B'Marayim Tamid Chachamim Yamlu Li L'Zari Shelo Tzamosh Hatayim Pi Zari Zari V'Zer Zari Adolam V'Skayim Bim B'Sasecha Tancha Oisa V'Shach V'Chav Tishma Alecha, Bakitzoisa He Tizichacha Ki Vi Yerbu Yemecha V'Yesiv L'Cha Shnos Chayim Orich Yamim V'Yamina V'Smol V'Oisha V'Chavod Adonai Oz Ha'Vayitain Adonai Yivarech Esavol V'Shalom. And you want to do the Kaddish? You want to? Sure. Yeah. Yeah, you need I have it right here. You need. Oh, you got it.
Foolish, aqua, my carbon.
Mazda.